it's my life, it's my life, my life. It's my life, it's my life. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got quite the crew joining us here today, fresh off a U Sports National Championship with the U Ottawa GGs. These guys were all key parts of this special Cinderella run. Please welcome the Northern Four, baby. We got Brad Chenier, Mitch Martin, Zach Giroux, and Brandon Clavel. How are the boys doing?
He's going
pretty good. Pretty good now, I guess. A lot better now, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, we're excited to chat here, boys. Let's go around the line, and we'll start with Brad and kind of maybe take it down the line. But how the celebrations, been, boys? Like, is the campus on fire or what?
Yeah, it hasn't stopped. Yeah.
As you can see,
It hasn't stopped.
Unreal.
Yeah, we're having some fun here. Lots of fun.
That's good. Yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Tommy boy, what do you got for him?
I want to talk about some of these crowds you guys were getting. Like, I mean, I saw a couple celebrations from Mitch when you tucked a couple goals that you were going banana lands, dude. Like, how much do you think? Obviously, we'll get into the whole run, but being a host, having your fans and people you guys go to class with, like helping you out in these games.
Yeah, I mean, it was there's something about like scoring for your school that's a bit different. That definitely got me a little more fired up. It was and yeah, the crowds were obviously they were sick.
That's awesome.
They weren't too big, but they were really loud. There was tons of energy in there.
yeah, the final was sick. Like the finals were sick, and it's like students, they're probably buckled, so it was like you could have seen behind the benches. Like behind the benches, it was unreal. They had to block like the two sections behind the other team's bench because against TMU in the semis, like they're just wailing at the glass the whole time. So yeah, it was a riot. Like it was unreal.
That's sick. And you guys kept celebrating by the alumni. I think that was that 2020 group that didn't get to play during COVID. So whoever wants to answer, but like, how big were those guys there? Like, were they talking to you guys much during the run here? Were they in the room?
Yeah, I had I knew a lot of them with my first year, so incredible group of guys, and it was electric. Going to see them after every win was so special, and we knew they were buckled too, and they're screaming at the goalies, they're starting chants, they brought everything they could.
That is so sick. That is awesome. Well, let's bring it right back to the start of the year. And Brad, like you mentioned, you were part of the team for the past couple of years. So, like, did you know that the team was going to host when you had signed up to play for U Ottawa? And I guess what was the lead up heading into that host year?
Yeah, no, I had no idea. I actually found out yesterday that it was like my first year they put the bid in.
Oh, wow.
They obviously got it. We found out last year. I think we were playing an away game. The dean came in and kind of let us know. But yeah, obviously a huge factor of why I came back. To be a part of this group was crazy. What a story we have to obviously the disappointment in round 2 against Queens, but then to come back and win it all is crazy.
Yeah, wicked.
For the rest of the boys, we'll start off with Mitch and move to Zach and then to Clavel. Like, how much did hosting a national championship obviously sell you guys to come to Ottawa? Like, I know Mitch and G, you guys came obviously from the O, and Clavel, you came from a different school. So, like, did it obviously help knowing that Ottawa was hosting to make that decision?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the that as well as the taking us to Germany at the start of the year. Those are kind of the main selling points, and I wasn't a very hard recruit to get in. I said yes right away, so that was pretty easy.
For me, I had a harder time knowing where to go, or like what I wanted to do, what path I wanted to take. But I saw Shen's texting me a little later time, and I was like, yeah, like Ottawa hosting, and then Mitch, my good buddies from growing up. So I saw that, and he was talking about how fired up he was hosting, and obviously the Germany trip, like he said, and it's been a hell of a ride so far, and this year was a hell of a ride, and wouldn't take anything for granted. Like it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for me, I knew like obviously coming from X last year, like not this past year, this happened the year before. I talked to Pat, our coach, and we are trying to find a way for me to come then. So after my third year at X, and then it didn't work out. It was pretty late through for the whole like application process. So I stayed at X for one more year, and then we're pretty early on it for the application process for this year. I kind of knew I have a lot of family here. Of course, they're hosting natties. So it was pretty like an easy sell. Like Santa FX is like an undergrad school. So like after you're done your undergrad, like there's not like Ottawa or big like cities or where there's bigger schools. I guess you have different options for post grad programs, but at X there's it's pretty limited. There's maybe an ed program and that's about it. So after I graduated, it was kind of just to see what was the next path. And my sister played too, so like through my sister, then through Pat, there's like a 2 or 3 lines like connection, and then I finally talked to Pat and we kind of made it work. And then I talked to Shens a bit too. I played with Shens like minor midget, so like small world, but I was grade minor midget, so we played together for that 1 year. And we have a couple teammates that I guess he played with Struthers in North Bay. I was with him at X, so yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, 4 guys from Suds on the same team. You don't see that too often. It's pretty cool to see. Attaboy, Shenny. Well done on the recruiting process there. Well done. Yeah. Tom, boy.
I want to ask about like the message throughout the year. Obviously, being a host, it's never easy. Just not being granted that, but everyone kind of knows that Ottawa's hosting. They're going to be there no matter what at the end of the year. Like, what was the message from the staff? Whoever wants to take this along, the whole course of the season. We'll give it to Brad.
Our big thing was, right from the start of the year was let's make history type of thing. So, that was our big message the whole year. We were, talking about that and putting everything we could because we knew we were hosting it. We faced a lot of adversity this year with a lot of injuries. Obviously, Big Mitch and his surgery and, losing G there right before Nationals. And, it was a relentless group. Obviously, we were pretty upset with ourselves with the performance we had against Queens. But we put the nose to the grindstone for those 2 weeks, and those 2 weeks were hell, man. They sucked. Like we were bag skating. Oh, it was brutal, but we kept with it, and thank God we did.
Yeah, well, that was actually gonna be one of our questions. So it was just relentless for those 2 weeks up until Natty's, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of skating. Like just long practices and lots of skating.
Like we gutted all of our systems, man. Like we had new force, new neutral zone, new D zone, video.
Oh, really? Eh?
Oh yeah.
Was that the coach's decision, or was some of the older guys stepping in? Like, how do you guys do that in 2 weeks?
No, it was our coaches. He full on came in and said it's gonna be hell for the next 2 weeks. Like we are gonna put you guys through a boot camp. But it's what we need to do, and it's what we have to do to be the number 1 team UNB. You got to be in shape for all 3 periods, and look how much it worked out. I mean,
that's what we knew. We had an idea. Like 2 teams we're probably playing. Like we're probably playing UNB or maybe someone from out west. But so I think they did lots of pre-scout for those 2 weeks on who we were probably playing. And like we changed like our systems, we kind of changed them throughout the year, not as drastic as we did for those 2 weeks, but it was definitely prep for the UNB game, like because we knew that we had a pretty good chance of playing UNB. So yeah, systems, and then same with the skate, and well, I guess it worked out, but it's tough.
Yeah, no doubt. That's wicked, man. And I mean, you guys play UNB game 1. Obviously, I think they've lost like a game in 2 years, back-to-back champs, all the odds against you. Before we even get into that game, the game before you guys went 6 periods. Like, did you guys was there a chance that you guys weren't going to play that night?
They never really talked about canceling it, but it was like, we just like after every overtime, we just kept warming up again. And we did that like
we what,
4,000.
Yeah, it was a
That
gong
is
show.
insane.
You have no idea. Yeah.
like our pregame meal was at 1:30, man. We got to the rink at 4:30.
Yeah.
That is
And then-
wild, man.
I had to play till
Warm
9.
Yeah, warm up 8:30. My boys are starving,
Yeah.
cramping.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is insane. Yeah, 9 o'clock start is crazy, man, crazy. And you guys went to OT in that game as well, which I mean is wild. But yeah, I mean, heading into that game, being the 8th seed and getting it done. I guess like what was the mindset for you guys heading into that game against UNB?
Well, we well, like we said, we had whatever there were 2 weeks there of prep, and we had a good kind of systems. We believed in ourselves. Like we never, had no belief in our team. Like Shen said, there was like a lot of ups and downs, so many injuries, like top guys were out in and out. And so we knew we had like the core group. It was just mostly like kind of sticking to the system. And then playing UNB, it's also like it's pretty easy to get up for a game like that. Like, yeah, it's 1 against 8. We were at home as well, so kind of that worked out. And kind of we had, it's for an 8 seed to go up against a 1 seed, like it's like I said, it's easy to get up for. And a couple of us had played them already for 4 years, and we're pretty motivated for that one too. At X, they beat up, like it's a pretty good rivalry, but they got a fair share of us. So trying to kind of get the boys going, and I think everyone kind of knew coming in what the UNB Reds program was, and most of the people do know. Like they're a great team. They have great players. They play the same way, and I mean, yeah, we kind of just found a way. We gutted it out, and like before I let it go, we have 3D that cramped up in the second and midway through the second, and like we were down to 3D left, and we had one forward playing D for the overtime.
Yeah,
like it was a gong show for a whole overtime, maybe a bit of the third. We just kind of gutted it out.
Yeah, man. I mean, and from there, I mean, you guys were destined for it. That is, and it's not a knock on you guys being the 8th seed. Like at the end of the day, that's a tough 8th seed for UNB to play, obviously. And the whole tournament was some great teams. Let's go to Dream On, which seemed to be the big tune for the boys throughout the championship. So I guess when did that song start to play in the room, and where did that come from? Whoever wants to take it.
I think it was
Sorry,
right at
right
the
for the
start.
game.
Right before the first game there.
Yeah.
Like our coach, like Pat, like I'll give him, like he's a great motivator. He found like ways to motivate the guys, and like goes back to our 2 weeks of just bag skating. Like everyone was motivated, ready to go, and he had like great speeches, great videos, and then the whole thing of Dream On. It was right before the game that he told us it was going to be our goal song. Just from all the adversity we had gone through, and kind of like you said, we were the 8th seed, and we believed, but the majority of people didn't, and it was So I don't know if you guys want to chip in.
Yeah, he was also just saying like it's gonna be like he played us like our like a video from our entire season, like memories from Germany, and then just kind of clips from all around the year. And he said like we're just gonna keep dreaming, and then when we score, that's gonna be our song, and that we just gotta keep making memories, sort of thing. And that I think it it resonated very well with our group for sure.
I got goosebumps here, Tom. I got goosebumps.
I mean, it is a banger
wicked.
too. Yeah.
That is a banger. Yeah, great tune. Great.
Guys,
tune.
let's move on to the horse T-shirt. Like, what? Take us through that one. Whoever wants to take that.
Red strike, baby.
Yeah. You guys should go and look up that video because I didn't know about it. Kentucky Derby 2022, I think. And Rich Strike. Yeah. So he was like the 18th horse, and he wasn't supposed to come in. I guess a horse was hurt. And then like if you watch the race, you'll kind of see like he was kind of 18th, last place throughout the whole race. And then the last leg, he just kind of took off. It's I've watched the Kentucky Derby many times, and for some reason I don't remember that horse or that whole story. but it's like pretty inspiring. Like the whole video, like there's kind of a whole little montage of like the story of the horse and the trainer and like the horse didn't sell for whatever 30 grand right before the race. Like he was really a nobody, kind of just to fill in the race, and then he ended up winning it all. He won the Kentucky Derby. So we kind of used that. We had T-shirts, and yeah, it became our mantra. Like, if you guys want to add in, but
Yeah, and watch that video, man. You'll
yeah, it's
He pulled out all the stops, man. I love it. That is so sick. That is so sick.
We also
And
had Caleb come out, a humble Bronco. Caleb Dahlgren, humble Bronco survivor.
wow.
And he talked to us, and man, what a human being that is.
Yeah.
That is crazy. All the adversity he went through in his life, and making you realize you're sitting there listening to him. And it's like, you know what? At the end of the day, I got a bag skate.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Right.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our coaches made sure like we knew we can handle them. Like we knew no one could really beat us if we put our mind to it. So they just put in like a bunch of motivational videos. We like watched one like once.
Bunch of
once every-
underdog stories, yeah.
Yeah. And but we knew like looking at those videos, like we're not like we don't consider ourselves as underdogs as much as like the outside considers us underdogs. Like we knew we had it in us like the whole time. We knew we had a good group, and yeah, we just got it done. We just really rallied behind each other, and it was awesome. It was like for me, it was awesome to watch. Just going like seeing those guys go to war, like each shift. You have Mitch was like going out, Shen's going out there to hammer guys like each shift. It was sick. Clavs cramping up, like and just battling, like going out there. It was crazy. It was actually so sick to watch. It was awesome.
Man.
yeah. Those 2 weeks I think got us like as close as we could probably get. Like that's probably what did it. One, like yeah, we worked hard and stuff, but those bag skates and those practices kind of got us a lot closer, which
Yeah.
helped us big time to kind of winning it.
And Jim, before you go, I feel like that's just the key to success now. I like how close of a group. I know you guys are talking about it lots right now. Like the last 2 weeks, obviously the week of nationals, there was probably no loose ends. Like from the fourth line to the 6D and even like the third goalie, whatever you guys have. I feel like everyone kind of bought in. That's mostly the main reason why you guys came out on top. Would you think so?
Yeah, I mean, you look back. I mean, you start the year where we go to Germany, and we spend 10 days. Obviously, I know Mitch and Zach and Clavin, but they didn't know anybody on the team. And
Right.
you start off the year doing Germany. You guys are having pints, 24.
Wicked.
We're playing, we're seeing these amazing sceneries, and we're just visiting castles, and that was obviously a huge stepping stone into the brotherhood. But you look down the road, and it was guys would have put their face on the line, guys would have eaten a puck to the face. Players that were not even in the lineup are doing everything they possibly can to help us out. Guys are going through adversity. Again, Big Mitch, Luca Vero, probably one of our better players. Breaks his hand all year, is playing with. He's not 100%, but he's giving everything he's got. All the goalies are supporting each other. It doesn't matter who plays. It was just incredible.
Yeah. Germany set a great foundation for the year. Like that kind of, there's not a better way to start it. And then, yeah, like Shen said, it was just like every single guy, like 6D, 12th forward, like every single guy found a way to give it their best and like contribute in some way. And like we couldn't have done it without everybody. It was great.
Also, staff.
Yeah,
our staff was unbelievable. Like Pat was getting us massage therapists between games, like
volunteers running around
getting food, snacks, like everyone, that whole university came on our side. Students, fans, like you name it. Like it was entirely a university. That wasn't just us.
Yeah, full effort, man. Full effort. That is wicked. And Shen, while you're in Germany, I believe Mason Savage drafted your fantasy football team in the meantime, right?
Yeah, pretty good year. I don't really remember how much that
I remember that late text. That was the best. Hey guys, I'm in Germany. Someone draft my team. That was the best. That was the best. Moving on to TMU here, Mitchie. I mean, you find a way, man. You're a gamer, underdog. You assist the game winner against UNB. Kitchener, a bunch of success being the underdog, and you have 2 goals in that game. And I mean, after the last couple of years you had battling a bunch of injuries, like Shen said, obviously coming off a surgery. I mean, how good did it feel to finally be back and like having success at such a high level?
Yeah, it was super refreshing. It was it was something I was definitely at one point worried that like shit, I might never be able to get back to that level. And it was it was a huge boost of confidence knowing that I could still um like even after everything that's happened, that was like my 12th game or something in the last year and a half. And yeah, it was really good for my confidence, and I was really happy I could come up big for the fellas there.
Yeah,
You're also, I think, like under like those 2 guys there, like were probably one of the reasons we won. Like they're
for
horses,
sure.
not just TMU. It was like every game, like our goalie Frankie, and then those 2 guys were like the offense. Like it was unbelievable. They were dogs. The whole like
Yeah.
those whole 3 games, they're like chasing the puck. It was insane. Like it was unreal to watch. Like they're fishing every single hit. It was like by far prior to like MVPs up front. There's like it's those 2 guys there.
I remember
Yeah.
after every period, I'd go in the room just to, like see, like look around, like if someone needed like someone to chat to, I was there. And I remember going in the trainer's room in the finals after maybe the second, and the trainer was telling Shen like, it's probably not a good idea for you to play. Like your hips like fucked. Like you're on the table, you can't move. Like there's no way like you should be able to go out there. Shen looks at her and goes, "You're gonna have to kill me before fucking I get out of this game right now."
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then I watch him go out in thirds, like every shift just
Yeah.
banging a bod, like, and he still get like he couldn't even walk after the period, like, and he goes out there like to hit bod, like it was crazy to watch. It was so sick. It was
Two
awesome.
black guys.
Yeah.
That's special, man. That's special. Shen, I saw you mix it, especially that UNB game. Well, every game, but that UNB, I know late mixing it up. There was a big scrum, I think right before the Stratus goal. You came out of nowhere, grabbed the guy, just tussled to the ground. I remember that. I don't know if you remember that, but yeah.
He was spearing one of our guys, so I had to deal with it.
Unreal.
Got me good. He clocked me right in the eye.
Okay, so let's dive into the finals. Obviously, like just from the start of this interview to now, like it sounds like basically just one more game, one more period after period after period. Like, what was the message going into it? Like, how did you guys feel waking up that morning? Obviously, besides all the bumps and bruises, but like you had to just feel so good just to get one more win under the belt, and you guys are champs. So whoever wants to take it, like, what was the message going into that whole kind of finals day?
Yeah, definitely nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Emotional for sure. Before the game, I sent the message to the chat, and I said, whatever happens, happens. I'm so grateful for you guys, and I love you guys to death. And let's go make history. Let's do it. And we ran with that. We came out firing. We knew what we had to do. We were playing our systems to a T. We were clogging the middle. Like, they could not get anything going. Like, I know we got outshot, and that doesn't explain the game. They were just throwing pucks on net at the end, and guys were blocking shots, getting pucks out. Doing all this stuff you really don't want to do. Like, guys were just doing it, and yeah, what a feeling.
Yeah, it was also huge too because they give the first seed the best schedule. Like you play Thursday night, you get Friday off, and then Saturday the early game, and then so you're the most rested you can be for the final. So once we beat UNB, like there wasn't any reseeding. Like we just took over the best schedule.
Right.
So like we got TMU, they basically played 3 games on Thursday before us. So like the message there was just like we gotta hammer their D. Like every time they go back for pucks, like we gotta make them pay. And then same thing with Concordia. Like they played the 7 o'clock game, the 7 o'clock semi, and like then they were playing us in a 3-3. So just like the exact same thing. Like I think that was huge too, taking over that schedule.
And I think we learned a lot from our first game. Like the first game, I find might be the most nerve wracking game because you lose, you're done. So like as much as like the semis also nerve like every game's it's very stressful, but that first one is like all the chips are on the table because you don't have a second chance. If you lose in the semis, you have your bronze medal game. You're gonna play together one more time, and that's what when I went whatever my second year, like that's what I remembered that first game being like, holy shit, this is different because you lose, you're done. You like so I think and by being our first game against UNB, it kind of gave us all the confidence to kind of okay, we can beat UNB under that amount of pressure at home. Like we can beat anyone. We really can.
Mm-hmm.
And so beating TMU, it didn't matter. You could have gave us Sask or Concordia. We were going to play the same way, and probably the same outcome was going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you said absolutely right. I think once you get that one under your belt, and adding on to it being against the best team, there. I mean, it was set for destiny. Absolutely. Let's go to your goalie, boys. Frankie LaPena. I didn't know much about this guy, but watching him play, he's kind of. It seems like he's a little more of a unconventional goalie, but my God, he was absolutely electric. So take us through him and his performance during this run.
Yeah, I mean he broke last year. He broke the what was that OUA record?
Yeah,
I think
he
it's
had like a
944,
944 in like 26 games.
Wild.
So he had a record breaking season last year, and then this year he by his standards it was like a down year, but I think he still had a 915 or something. Like he was still very good, and then I think it wasn't exactly said, but everybody kind of knew that he's our we need him to steal, especially the first one. We needed him to be at his very best, and he gave us that every game, and it was great to see him. It was like a level that we definitely hadn't seen from him before. Like at least I hadn't this year, and but he was sensational. Like it was unreal some of the saves he was making.
Yeah, he was sick.
So that finals game, I was texting Alex in our group chat for the pod, and I knew you guys were in the finals at what time it was, and he goes, "Yo, Ottawa's up 3-0," and then later on he texts me, "It's 3-2 now." I mean, I was nervous. I'm not even part of the team. Like, were you boys nervous on the bench, and kind of how did you guys get through that? Was it maybe one of the older guys stepping up saying, "We're not letting this slip"? Like, what was going through your minds when Concordia scored 2 there late?
Well, it started off by probably the second oldest guy taking a penalty, making it the 3-1. So I kind of soaked that one. I wasn't too happy after that, but I think we kind of believed we knew I think throughout the whole game everyone's comfortable on the bench. We're all talking to each other. Leaders are talking, and they're a great team. They were probably, as much as great as Frankie played, they were probably going to score one or two. And we kind of withheld the storm there at the end. And yeah, I mean, it's two great teams. Like Concordia with UNB had a great year, but you could probably put Concordia up there with one of a great season. Like they had an unbelievable season, won the OUA. So we kind of knew it wasn't going to be a cakewalk kind of going through. And once we gave up that one, because of a tough penalty, they had the momentum there, and then it kind of oh shit. But the boys stepped up and kind of shut it down. And
yeah, those games are so hard to close out too. Like it's almost expected that with a league you're gonna end up playing in your own end for the last little bit.
And the crowd, the crowd was like we mentioned at the start, you're not just playing for yourself. It was close to packed for that finals, and it's not just kind of a packed barn of it's quiet or I don't know. I see the ticket holders exactly. They're loud, they're rowdy. Everyone's standing up the last 4 minutes, 5 minutes. The alumni are there, so you're not lacking motivation or will. It's just kind of the execution, and kind of found a way.
Absolutely, that's wicked. And what was it like, man, in the room celebrating with the boys? How was that?
So.
Well, hey, the pictures are amazing.
The picture's sick. Yeah.
I don't know who's his photographer, but some of the ones you guys were posting or resharing there was pretty nuts.
Yeah, it was like whatever, like there's no words to describe it. It's like a dream come true. It's I've never kind of won a national championship in junior or anything like that, like or Mem Cup, I guess, but never really won. You always want it, and then once it happens, and especially the one part of the kind of dream on and let's make history is because you Ottawa's never won at Natties, so we were
Yeah.
going to be the first, and there's only one team that can be the first. So that was kind of part of the whole thing as
Yeah.
well. Like we're gonna be the first team. There's no other first team for this. If there's a second natties, like we were that first team. So the celebration kind of was that as well, just for Pat and I think for a lot of the alumni and yeah, I mean it was surreal. Like they tarped, we walked in there and or like everything was tarped. I was as if
So
like
sick.
no way they tarped it. Like they
Putting the
actually
goggles out.
That's nationally.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, it was unreal. Like,
Champagne,
yeah,
beers.
yeah, champagne and everything. Yeah, it was a movie.
Yeah, and then
Fantastic.
afterwards, there's right beside the rink. What was that? Craft. It's like a brewery, one of those brewery restaurants, and like we got the whole place to ourselves. All the alumni were there, and we were just having a blast there. It was
Ah, that
very
is sick, man.
I feel
Unreal.
everyone tear up after like
Oh, for sure.
everyone's crying, like all the blood, sweat, and tears that like gone on that whole weekend. Just like it was so fun to see.
It's
Like, it
just
was
great.
just
Like you,
special.
you look back and like me and Clavy were talking about this and Zach too, when we were getting our medals. Like, you look back 10 years ago, like, 14, 15-year-olds, me and Clavy playing minor midget.
It's true. Yeah.
I'm training with these are, they're kids, man. They're 12 years old, 13 years old. And I had size on Mitch there for once. It's crazy how, it's just 10 years of all the making, all the hard work, and it just came together.
Well,
There's
I
no,
feel like you guys are all on that same page though. Like I know three of you guys, Brad, Mitch, and G, you guys played in the O. Clavel, you played many years in the Q. Like I feel like at this U Sports level, and especially get us winning the belt for you guys, you play like you mentioned, Brad, 10 years of competitive hockey at the OHL for 4 or 5 years, or the Q for 4 or 5 years, and you have all these guys on your team mixing together, all different personalities, and to get a win like this, I think it's well, one, something you guys will never forget because of the age you are. Not like we're old now, but it's like when you're 24, 25 winning this rather than 14, 15 at a AAA tournament. I feel like it goes a long, long way. Something you guys will never forget.
yeah, it's definitely a lot different than in junior. I mean, in
Yeah.
junior, you have your dogs, your first round picks, guys that are going to play 10 years in the NHL. Here it's just so different. You're grown men, and it's just a different type of hockey. Like this is the hockey that like you earn it, man. Like 5 years in this league, and like I've
Yeah.
been through it. I've first year lost to Nip, second year to McGill, third year to UQ. It's like, man, it was a battle. And I mean, even this year, I mean, we didn't get it done in playoffs either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a hard league to be successful in, and it just
Yeah,
Fun.
that's the one thing I think for older guys, like they're gonna experience it soon. And I kind of mentioned it to like the boys, but you like in junior, like you're probably gonna play in the playoffs unless you're whatever, I don't know, the bottom four, like kind of your bottom tier
Yeah.
team. Like you're gonna play in the playoffs. But to get to a natties, like did you guys go in there 4 years? Like it's hard. It's hard to go. I keep telling the story, but we went once and we got bronze. It was my second year, and we were like 12 rookies, but we were like stacked. We were like, man, we're coming every year. Like this is sick. Like we're rookies, we're coming back, and we never went back. Like it's like whatever if it's the AUS, the OUA, or Can West, like it's tough league. Like UNB is like few and far between. Like that program, like there's no other program like that. Like in the sense of they've gone and they've done it for a long time. Now I don't know with the new rules and stuff like that if it's going to change, but like it's really hard to even get to a natty championship. So you want to make the most once you get there, because you're probably not going to be there again, like realistically speaking. So it's kind of that's the big thing for when you do end up winning, or we're lucky enough to end up winning, is like holy shit, like that end, we're like a family. There's no trades. There's nothing like that. We start together and we end together. Like in junior, there's trades. You know, there's guys maybe coming from Europe or whatnot. Here, like it's the same crew.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like you start from whatever in September. So I think
Yeah.
it's pretty different than. I mean, I've never won a member, so I can't speak to it. But compared to whatever minor midget or kind of champion, like when you win when you're younger, it's different for sure.
For sure. I think, yeah, you definitely appreciate it more as an older guy, 100%. I think, anyways. Yeah.
Something fully like different about winning for your school too. Like it's just
Yeah.
different than winning for like your junior team. Like obviously it's the same sort of the same feeling, but it's definitely just another almost you're more proud to have been able to do it for your school just with like all the students there and just how loud and proud the fans are. There's just something about it for sure.
You guys are
Yeah.
rock stars. That's what it is.
Rock stars, man.
Rock
yeah,
stars.
legends. Forever.
Forever
that alumni
legends.
party is going to be sick.
Forever.
That's awesome.
What's the future hold for the boys? I know Mitch and G are kind of starting out here. Brad and Clavel, 4th, 5th year. Like what's going on? What's next for the boys?
I don't know. Like, kind of time will tell. I guess finish school, then kind of see what the options are after that. But right now, it's celebrating. I think we
Oh yeah.
we've earned this week coming up here that we have a little medal ceremony and
Let her fly.
and yeah, so that's as far as my thinking's going for future for the time being.
Good stuff.
I haven't given much thought. I got a couple battle wounds. I got to get better, and yeah, we'll take it right now. It's just about being with these guys. Yeah.
Also
Awesome.
go for the next week.
Yeah.
Then we'll take
Awesome. Well, listen, boys, enjoy it, man. Thanks so much, for taking the time out of the celebrations to come and chat with us. That means the world. So, man, go enjoy it. And we really appreciate you boys coming on. Best of luck along the way here. But yeah, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome.